This is the Good Neighbor Podcast, the place where local businesses and neighbors come together. Here's your host, Jim Schaller.
Welcome, good neighbors, to episode number 35 of the Good Neighbor Podcast, Sptizer. Today we have good neighbor Michelle Spitzer from MaidPro. Michelle, welcome.
Well, thank you very much for having me. It's an honor.
Yes. Pleasure to get to know people out here in the neighborhood. So why don't we just start off by, can you share with our listeners a little bit what you do over at MaidPro? Obviously acclaimed, but...
Well, we are a residential and commercial cleaning company serving all of Southwest Florida from just south of Tampa to the Everglades, plus on the other coast in the Fort Lauderdale area. Plus, we offer MaidPro muscle services for the bigger jobs, such as carpet cleaning, tile and grout cleaning, upholstery cleaning, power washing, and even window washing. So we provide those additional services as well.
Wow. When you say cleaning, you mean cleaning. You do everything.
Everything, yes.
Wow.
We'll take care of the dirty work so you don't have to.
I like that. Nobody likes dirty work, but you do. See, there you go.
Absolutely.
Perfect. So how did you get involved into the cleaning industry?
Oh, wow. Well, good question. Well, I moved from Champaign, Illinois back in 1995. I had family that was already living here. And when I arrived, I had this crazy idea of cleaning houses independently while I re-enrolled to finish my college education. And I had enrolled in Hodges University. And so I was just going to clean houses part-time to make a little extra cash while going to school. And I was in the business management program. And I had the fortunate opportunity to have my professor was Dr. Gene Landrum. And if you don't know who he is, he's actually the original founder of the Chuck E. Cheese franchise. And he had a very outside of the box approach to teaching his students. He wanted his students to learn real life practices with real life business examples. And one of our first homework assignments was to write a business plan. So I decided to write a business plan on turning my cleaning into an actual business. And lo and behold, as I'm writing this business plan, I thought I was onto something. And I decided to implement it. And I became Michelle's Classy Cleaning. And then I built up a really nice size little business. We started out by dispatching out of a Winn-Dixie parking lot.
Wow.
Eventually getting our first office space. But 3 years after inception of Michelle's Classy Cleaning, I received a postcard in the mail and it said, "Look who's coming to town, MaidPro." So I thought I had new competition. And so I prepared a list of questions. I was going to secret shop them. I wanted to know who's invading my territory or my space. And to my surprise, I was actually talking to one of the original founders of MaidPro. And really caught my attention. That postcard was actually soliciting existing cleaning companies to convert and be a part of their fairly new franchising opportunity. And they invited me to come pay a visit at their headquarters in Boston, Massachusetts. Although I was 3 months pregnant with my first child, I decided to take a chance and go visit them. And I was really impressed with the people, the systems, and I went for it. They gave me, since I had an existing block of business and they were fairly new at franchising, I paid $1 to make it legal.
Wow.
And so it was probably the best investment I could have ever made, because I'm currently the second largest revenue producing MaidPro within the MaidPro organization. And there's probably over 250 some franchises across the nation, including Canada.
Wow.
So up with them.
That's a great story. And it sounds like everything just kind of fell into place, but it kind of laid a path out for you from school and writing the paper to, the franchisee and getting to where you are today.
It's been quite the journey.
I bet. Have you had any, I want to say, challenges along the way? Obviously, starting a new business is very challenging.
A business is a series of hills and valleys. When there's a hill, things are going great. But then there's also those hiccups along the road because life occurs. Two examples. One was back, I think, around 2008, the Great Recession. I mean, that's when everything just stopped. And clients were calling and canceling services because they were losing their jobs or having loss of revenue in their businesses. So I had to quickly downsize in order to survive that recession. And that was really difficult, especially when you had to reduce people's hourly wages and salaries. That was not an easy thing to do. But we made it. We survived. We rebounded back quickly. It made us stronger on, handling our financials and making sure that we're being good stewards with the revenue. So that definitely was, in the long run, a good lesson to learn. The most recent COVID, I mean, that, threw us all for a loop because we had to, although we were considered an essential business and we never had to completely shut down, but we had to pivot and restructure our whole way of doing business. We had to earn people's trust to show how we're keeping the community safe, so they'll allow us to even come into their home. And we came up with some contactless cleaning procedures, and even including drive-through dispatch. I mean, no, we didn't let everybody come into the office. We set up a table outside in the back alley, and they would drive up and get their work orders and their supplies and exchange cleaning cloths. And so it started there. We did temperature checks, the whole 9 yards. But then we would also practice social distancing when we were in the customer's home. We educated our clients to social distance, be in another room while we're there cleaning. We just wanted to make sure everyone was being safe, including our customers and our employees who are out there in the field fighting, germs. That's what we disinfect. And we also really emphasized within our cleaning procedures itself to do your high touch cleaning, like making sure we're doing all the light switches, the doorknobs, and your remote controls and so forth. So we did really step up to the plate. And as a result, we still practice those procedures today when it comes to cleaning, although we don't have to socially distance anymore, and we can welcome our pros into the office and have that team camaraderie, which is nice to have back. But we did pivot, we did survive through that, and we did a really good job at educating our clients to help them feel safe, that it's okay to let us come in and do our job because we're here to kill germs.
That's it. And the attention to detail is incredible, because that's that's important as well. Now, are there any, I'm going to say, myths or maybe misconceptions that we could bust for people today in regards to the cleaning industry?
Sure. I think a lot of people think it's okay to hire an independent person to come in to clean their home. And that is a misconception completely. I mean, they're really taking on a huge risk when you're having someone that you don't know, who's not licensed, who probably has not gone through a criminal background check. And God forbid, if there's a slip and fall in the home and they're not covered by workers' comp, who do you think's liable? You, the customer. So they're really taking a huge liability and a risk by hiring someone that is not a professional cleaning company that has all of those protections. Plus payroll taxes. I mean, technically, you're supposed to be, having to take care of their payroll taxes. And a lot of times that is done under the table, and that can get you in trouble with the IRS. So hiring a good professional cleaning company like MaidPro, we're licensed, we're insured, we're bonded. Our pros go through a criminal background check. We take that very seriously because we are going into a private personal home. And we want to make sure that our clients are taken care of and they're protected.
And that's the important thing, because a lot of people don't think of that. They have a friend or a friend of a friend that comes over and cleans, and like you say, God forbid something happens in the house, you're on the hook for it.
That's right.
Wow. So are you seeing any, I'm going to say, trends or anything going on in the industry that have changed over the years?
Well, I think that people are seeing cleaning more as a necessity than just a luxury. I mean, it's, you've got a lot of working professionals out there, both the mom and dad are both working, and there's just not enough time in the day. So we can help take the stress off of a mother so that she can be a better mom, a little bit less stressed. So by having someone take care of those household chores, and also training, which makes MaidPro a cleaning service a necessity, is, we even help elderly who live in their homes unassistedly a little bit longer, or we might even brighten their day because they're lonely and have someone to, check in on. So that's what I see trending is we're being more as a necessity versus a luxury.
Yeah, a lot of people, just like you mentioned, don't have the time nowadays. They're so stretched, so thin, and so busy running around with the kids, the family, work, everything that they don't have time to clean their house, and that's probably the last thing they want to be doing when they do everything.
Yeah, and then there's even people that might be suffering from an injury or an illness, and they just can't do it physically. So we can come in and take care of those household chores so they can focus on healing, and so that's a necessity.
Yes. So I know you're very hardworking. You put in a lot of time in with work. What do you do outside of work? What do you enjoy to do in your free time?
Oh, 3 things. Well, I have a boat, so I like to go boating. Started fishing during COVID because everything else was closed down. So that's a new hobby. And I also like to golf. So I do like to have fun too. There's got to be a good balance.
You do. You get out and enjoy Southwest Florida for the paradise that is, which is great.
Absolutely.
So how did you end up? I know you touched on it briefly, but how did you end up in Southwest Florida?
Well, I used to work for Blue Cross Blue Shield, and they basically eliminated my position when they started going into the managed care. They completely transitioned into when my position was no longer going to be available, I decided to move to Southwest Florida, follow my parents. They were already here. Plus my brother was already here and the family dog was already here. So I decided to come here and be with my family and finish my stop and go college education. Because I had only had my associate's degree, and I decided I may as well finish, go to Hodges, get that bachelor's degree. And who knew at the time that it was going to evolve into a business opportunity?
You never know. You put yourself in those positions and things happen. And it's definitely happened for you because you cover, you had mentioned all of South Florida pretty much, right?
Yeah, I have 5 locations. We have a location in Sarasota, a location in Port Charlotte, a location in Fort Myers, Naples, which services also Marco, and then we also have a location in Fort Lauderdale. So we cover everything from Bradenton to the Everglades, and then across Alligator Alley to Fort Lauderdale.
Wow.
So it's a pretty widespread area.
Keeping Florida clean.
Absolutely.
One market at a time. Absolutely. So what's one thing that that our listeners should know about you, or you'd like to share with our listeners?
Oh, our mission statement. I really see MaidPro as a whole lot more than just an average cleaning company out there scrubbing floors and cleaning toilets. What we really do is we improve the quality of people's lives in so many ways. Like I had mentioned before, being a necessity. Helping an elderly person live in their home a little bit longer, helping someone heal if they're suffering from an injury or an illness, brightening someone's day, reducing stress. So, our mission statement is that we're here to make a difference in our community, and that's what we're all about.
That is great, and that's what it's all about. It's about making a difference in the community. How would our listeners go about getting a hold of you?
Easy. You can find us online at MaidPro.com, or feel free to give us a call at 239-596-5200. And it's that easy. We can provide an estimate right over the telephone based on averages. So it's pretty simple to schedule services with MaidPro and get clean today.
Very good. Michelle, it's been a pleasure getting to know you. And your story is truly inspiring, because even if you don't know what you're going to do tomorrow, you just keep pushing forward and things will work out. And thank you for keeping Southwest Florida clean.
My pleasure. And thank you for having me. It was fun.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to the Good Neighbor Podcast Estero. To nominate your favorite local businesses to be featured on the show, go to gnpestero.com. That's gnpestero.com or call 239-296-2621.